Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office highlighted child protection against exploitation and abuse during the 33rd National Children's Month celebration. The event carried the theme, Saik Sisame, Wakasan, Kaligtasan at Karapatan ng mga bata ipaglaban, and aimed to educate children about risks in both digital and physical environments. The speakers shared practical tips to help children protect themselves from harm. Social worker Danilo Ballester said the program addressed the urgent need to strengthen child protection efforts. The celebration included interactive activities at the Albay Astrodome designed to engage children and promote participation. In other story, the Albay Provincial Health Office will lead the celebration of Albay Health Workers' Day 2025 to honor thousands of health workers across the province. The event will bring together barangay health workers, nutrition scholars, and health reproductive officers from 18 municipalities and cities. The celebration will feature a recognition ceremony awarding outstanding health workers and exemplary local health teams for their contributions to the public health and emergency response. Awards include outstanding barangay health workers, nutrition scholars, health reproductive officers, and recognition for exemplary municipalities in nutrition program implementation. The event will also feature a raffle for the 4,627 registered health workers. Albay Health Workers' Day highlights the province's ongoing commitment to support and motivate frontline health workers. In other news, the provincial government of Albay has been honored with the Gold Seal of Protection Award for its strong disaster readiness and community protection efforts. Governor Noel Rizal received the award on behalf of the province in recognition of its preparedness programs and support for vulnerable communities. The recognition highlights Albay's continuing commitment to safety, resilience, and quality public service. Officials said the province will continue to strengthen systems that safeguard residents from natural hazards. In the national scene, the Department of the Interior and Local Government is investigating claims that its internal systems may have been compromised after a cybersecurity advocacy group, Deep Web Connect, reported that a hacktivist collective infiltrated the agency's network and extracted about 400 gigabytes of data. In a statement issued over the weekend, the ILG said its technical teams working with government cybersecurity units are conducting a full assessment. Initial checks indicate that core services remain operational and containment measures have been activated while the investigation continues. The agency also urged the public to disregard unverified online posts. The Department of Information and Communications Technology has not yet released a statement. Deep Web Connect reported that a group identified as Happy Go Lucky released files and screenshots that allegedly show access to a DILG SQL interface. An initial review suggested the attackers reached a projection database for the Gender and Development Document Management System, which stores more than 113,000 records, including internal reports, government templates, local government submissions, budget documents, and various uploaded files. Another image appeared to show SQL system dumps being extracted from DILG servers, indicating that multiple internal platforms may have been affected. The source domain visible in the screenshots, dilg.gov.ph, was cited as further evidence that the data came directly from government infrastructure. The advocacy group added that the hackers described their actions as hacktivism intended to draw attention to corruption, not a profit-driven cybercrime operation. They claimed they do not sell or trade any information taken from the government systems. In other story, Senator Panfilo Lacson on Sunday dismissed proposals for a transition council and a military-backed reset, calling them unconstitutional amid public outrage over alleged flood control corruption. Lacson confirmed receiving messages from retired military officers pushing for a civil-military junta and inviting him to join, but said he ignored them. He stressed that the 1987 Constitution provides a clear line of succession, which he sought to strengthen through his designated survivor bill. He added that the Catholic Church opposes extra legal intervention, citing a recent meeting with CBCP President Cardinal Pablo Virgilio David, who supported anti-corruption efforts without endorsing violence. The Presidential Communications Office backed Lacson's position. Undersecretary Claire Castro said attempts to push a military-backed reset violate the Constitution and seek to remove President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. for personal motives. Lacson also noted recent actions against corruption, including arrest warrants issued against former Representative Elizalde Co and others. He said both Senate blocs are working to ensure a transparent 2026 national budget after calling the 2025 spending plan the worst he has seen due to excessive insertions, including the diversion of 50 billion pesos in unprogrammed funds for 2024 infrastructure projects. In other news, the Sandiganbayan 5th Division has denied a motion for several Department of Public Works and Highways Mimaropa officials to suspend arrest warrants filed against them in connection with a nearly 290 million pesos flood control project in Nauhan Oriental, Mindoro. The officials named in the case, including Jean Ryan Altea, Ruben Santos and Dominic Zirano, claimed they were not provided copies of the Ombudsman's resolution before the case was filed and argued the project was still under construction with no actual damage. The court rejected their arguments, stating the only basis to delay arrest warrant is if probable cause is in question. As probable cause exists, the motion was dismissed. Simultaneously, the Sandiganbayan issued arrest warrants and hold departure orders for former Ako Bicol Representative Zalde Co and 15 others involved in the project. The Ombudsman urged law enforcement to execute the warrants without delay. And in the news outside the country, Israeli forces launched an airstrike Sunday in Beirut's southern suburb of Harit Reich, targeting the chief of staff of Hezbollah. The strike hit the third and fourth floors of a 9-story apartment building, killing 5 and injuring 28, according to Lebanon's health ministry. Rescue teams worked at the scene to evacuate the wounded, while debris littered the streets. Lebanese soldiers were deployed to secure the area. Hezbollah confirmed a senior commander was the target and condemned the attack as crossing a red line. Israeli officials said the strike is part of ongoing operations against Hezbollah despite a ceasefire since November 2024. This is the first strike in Beirut's southern suburbs since June 5 when Israel targeted a Hezbollah drone facility. Israel remains committed to countering threats from the group. In other story, Angola will host the 7th African Union-European Union Summit on November 24 to 25 with around 47 heads of state and government expected to attend. The summit aims to strengthen economic and infrastructure cooperation between the two continents. Recent high-level visits, including German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, have highlighted Angola's role as an energy supplier and partner in economic diversification. The country seeks to balance China's influence with growing Western investment. A central focus is the Lobito Corridor, a $1 billion, 1,300-kilometer rail link connecting Angola to the Democratic Republic of Congo and eventually Zambia. It transports copper to Lobito port for export, carries sulfur on return trips. The project faces challenges including single-track limitations, slow train speeds, and customs delays. Experts said local communities along the corridor have yet to fully benefit, with agricultural regions lacking infrastructure to participate in trade. Economists emphasize the need for expanded logistics, storage, and production. The summit is expected to highlight infrastructure financing and partnerships, while some business leaders caution foreign investment may not immediately address Angola's deployment or development and governance challenges. And finally, in the news outside the country, Nigeria's National Drug Law Enforcement Agency announced Friday the arrest of 20 Filipino sailors for transporting at least 20 kilograms of cocaine from Brazil to Lagos's main port. The agency said the cocaine described as top grade was discovered buried beneath the ship's cargo on a Panama-registered vessel. While the type of cargo was not disclosed, the vessel reportedly normally carries coal between Brazil and Cambodia. The entire Filipino crew has been taken into custody for questioning as investigations continue. Nigeria has long been identified as a hub for drug trafficking, with narcotics often destined for Europe and other parts of Africa. Earlier this month, the agency revealed it was collaborating with U.S. and British anti-drug authorities to investigate the cartel responsible for smuggling 1,000 kilograms of cocaine into Lagos via a shipping container. In a related development, U.S. President Donald Trump recently increased American military presence in the Caribbean to counter drug trafficking operations from Latin America countries, including Venezuela and Mexico. And that's all for the news at 12, November 25, 2025. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer, Albay PIO and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Officer, OIC Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Ruzal. I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing.